Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
All right, guys, we are live. Welcome to the Ringside Reporter Show, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we'll talk about it right here. My name is Eric Lorta, and I'm here with my co-host, Joe Habib. We got a great show for you today. You guys want to call in 323-870-3857. Beeb, let's get it going. Let's get it started. DAZN, Anthony Joshua versus Francis Ngannou. Guys, I tried to tell you. Beeb tried to tell you. Everybody who knows boxing tried to tell you. It was a fluke last time. I don't think it was a fluke. Like I said, I think Fury was washed last time. No luck for Ngannou this time, man. Anthony Joshua annihilated this guy in 2 rounds. This fight wasn't even close. I feel like in this fight, you saw what levels are. You know, you see a guy who has 1 pro fight versus a guy who has, 30 or almost 30 or whatever his record is now. Anyway, Joshua's been boxing for a long time, and it showed. It was pretty obvious from the get-go. Joshua started smart. He kept the distance. After some shots from AJ, Ngannou was biting on literally every feint that was thrown in that first round. I mean, everything. He's got a big problem because as soon as you start biting on feints and everything like that, you got a big, big problem, man. Joshua dumped Ngannou in the first round. It was a straight right that hit him. And what did Ngannou do wrong? Well, he pulled straight back. What do you never do? Pull straight back. He pulled straight back, had all the weight on his back. He had nowhere to go, couldn't move. He took the 8 count. He kind of looked shaky when he got up. He lasted the rest of the round. Didn't look great. The one thing I noticed about the first round is that AJ is landing every right hand that he threw. He couldn't miss. I told my son, I said, he can't take those all night, man. Going to have to make some adjustments, but Ngannou in his corner, they're just not experienced in the sport, man. It's a different animal. It's a different sport. And Ngannou kept the same trainer that he did, I believe, for the last fight as well. I don't know how much Mike Tyson played a part last time, but he kept the same trainer that he does for MMA. And it's not, he should have got a boxing coach for this. He really should have. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's going to be academic at the end of the day, but it is what it is. But that's what I thought maybe he should have trained for. That's how I thought he should have trained for it. Second round started, man. You could see the handwriting on the wall. About a minute was left in the round. AJ caught Ngannou with another flush right hand that dropped him. This was an overhand right. This was, and it landed flush, man. It really did. It took Ngannou the full 8 to get up. He was very shaky when he got up. They went ahead and he got back up. They motioned to each other. They met in the middle of the ring. And AJ unloaded a almost comic book overhand right to Ngannou. And you just saw his leg bent backwards. You saw he was out before he hit the floor. His leg buckled him back. He didn't feel anything. He was out. I mean, completely out. Referee called a halt to it right then in the second round. There was about 30 seconds left in the second round when he got counted out. The crazy thing, it wasn't really the outcome. Ariel Helwani, who's a MMA guy and everything, and he interviews a lot of boxers now and everything like that too. He said he was really shocked about the outcome. Not that Joshua won, but there's just that Ngannou was knocked out. And I was kind of surprised about that too, because I'm like, how could you? I wasn't surprised that he got knocked out. We all knew it was going to, it was either he was going to go to a decision and get completely whitewashed or he was going to get knocked out. There was no way he's beating AJ. None. Absolutely none. Like I said, you could have bet your house on AJ.
It sounds crazy. I knew he was going to win, AJ, but I just had a feeling. I thought that Ngannou could go the distance, right? And D-Style tried to tell me, he goes, it's not the same thing, because I said this to D-Style. The guy's got a giant head. He's got a giant neck. He's never even been knocked out or submitted in his whole MMA career.
It's different.
Right? But D-Style kept telling me, it's different, Beeb. It's different, Beeb. And lo and behold, it was different. And I I knew Joshua would win the fight. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I was just surprised at how he was just able to hurt him immediately. Immediately, he hurt him.
Well, I mean, Chet, he's hitting him with clean right hands.
Yeah, and
this is a guy, 250-pound guy, just sledgehammering him.
You mentioned the feints, but one thing that Joshua did beautifully, and we said it before that he had to do this, had to fight him long, and he was measuring him with that jab perfectly. It's almost like he was just posting him. He was like, boom, like he would not let him get within 2 feet of him. He was gonna fight him at range, and he had just beautifully enough space to turn the right hand over. He extended it perfectly. Sometimes, like, you remember that punch Kovalev hit Ward with?
Yes.
Ward kind of shortened the distance, and it kind of rolled up his head. But imagine if Kovalev actually had enough space to turn it over and catch him at the end of it. Joshua was throwing perfectly measured punches. He was turning them over and catching them right at the end of them. These were picture perfect shots.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, out of the three of them, you have Joshua, you have Fury, and you have Usyk. Fury's 35, Usyk's going to be 37. Usyk's had a long amateur career, so there's wear and tear there. Yeah. As much as I love Fury, right? Fury has abused his body, so he's 35. But really, you could argue he's 45 the way he destroyed his body. The one thing Joshua did, always stayed active, always stayed in shape, and he's the younger of the three. So you may argue, again, I still think Fury's the man in this division, but again, that's something that still needs to be proved.
That's on one legs right now, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. One upside Joshua has is he's got the most left in the tank. Because if you look at Joshua, the only one really bad fight that he had where he really took a lot of damage was that Ruiz fight. Other than that, he really didn't take a ton of damage throughout the course of his career, right? So he's probably the fresher of the three, and he's got more time on the clock than they do. So if Joshua catches, say Usyk by some miracle beats Fury, and Joshua catches Usyk at the tail end of his career, you know what I'm saying? Like Joshua still could be champion again. He still could beat the other two. It's not a foregone conclusion that Usyk beats Joshua a third time or that Fury beats Joshua. I think Fury will beat him. But again, there's an argument to be made that he's got momentum behind him now.
Yeah. JC said that was an early stoppage.
Not jumping on I never jump on the wagon. I just deal in reality, man. A lot of you guys in the chat, you have emotions. Sometimes you don't change your tampons. That's the way you guys are, man. You guys have the way you guys are. You act like you have these feminine traits sometimes. No disrespect to women, but as men, we can't be emotional when we break down these fights.
Not emotional,
right? I scored that fight for Ngannou. I thought Ngannou won the fight.
Thought he won.
We got to be honest here.
Yeah,
we got to tell the truth.
I agree.
George, I know, Georgie. Sometimes you wake up in the morning, you look in the mirror, and you start talking to yourself, and you're telling yourself lies. We don't do that over here, babe.
Rikers is a tough place, man.
We drink the truth serum over here, baby.
Truth serum. Pocket, thank you so much. He said, "Keep up the great work, guys. I always look forward to your show. Thank you so much." Team Batman says, "Well done. AJ represented boxing." He really did. He really did. This is what he should have done. And so now immediately, that combat math doesn't work, right? We all know, and you know where I'm headed. You know exactly where I'm headed. Fury, it wasn't a lack of training. It wasn't a lack of anything else. I'm telling you, he's washed. He's washed.
I don't know. Well, I'm going to say something. You're going to be shocked. Yesterday, when I checked the odds for the first time since this fight was announced, He's the underdog now.
It doesn't surprise me.
Ever so slightly, he's the underdog.
It does not surprise me.
When the fight first was announced, he was like a plus. I want to say he was a plus 220. Then after the Ngannou fight, a minus 2. He was like a minus 220. I apologize. And then after the Ngannou fight, he was like a minus 170.
Yep.
Now he's a plus 106 after that fight. So a lot of people
underdog
agree with
favorite, but yeah, I agree.
A lot of people agree with you. I just have to see, because I've seen the guy up and down, up and down, up and down. When his back is up against the wall, that's when he does the best. But again, this is 35 years old. He has been abusing himself.
Yeah.
This could be the time where he does hit the. It could happen. I don't think it. I remember how we used to say about Andre Ward. We have to see him lose. Like after that Kovalev, even after you thought Kovalev beat him.
Yeah.
You still picked him in the rematch because you said to yourself,
until I see him lose,
I gotta see him lose. Yep. And until we really see Fury go like this, really down, because that's one fight with Ngannou, and I'm saying to myself, here's the thing: you schedule a fight 5 weeks after that, right? It's like they could say what they want, but there was no threat there in his mind. There was no. He's going into that fight, and he has to feel like there's very little, if any, danger there.
Why was there no danger in there? Why? Why did he feel like that? There's a guy who goes,
I know,
who wears 4-ounce gloves and tackles a guy in front of you.
I know. AJ would never have done what Fury did.
Close to you. AJ didn't even let him get close.
Yeah, and that's on him. But there was no concern. There was no thought of danger going into that fight. Very much so.
Having the credentials as a heavyweight champion of the world.
No, I know. Listen, you can't put a happy face on it.
No.
But I just have a hard time believing he is not going to be dialed in for Usyk.
I don't care if he is dialed in. He can dial in all he wants. He can dial in. He can get a new trainer. I don't care what he does. The thing is, sometimes when you're there, and we've seen this before, we've seen the song and dance before. Sometimes when you go to step on that gas doesn't go. It doesn't go as fast as it used to.
We'll find out on May 18th, because you could very well be right. I mean, everyone hits the wall sometime in their career, right?
And I don't think somebody had asked me, do you think Usyk stops him early or late? No, I don't think Usyk stops. I think it's a unanimous decision. I think Usyk wins unanimous decision, and I think that he just walks him that whole fight. He just dog walks him the whole fight.
Even with an off night, and I think you've said this before, you just can't see that. That fight should not have been that way. Fury at his worst.
Off night. That was more than an off night.
Yeah, Fury at his worst shouldn't even at his worst, it shouldn't be competitive, is what you're saying.
Look, I mean, as big of a Fury fan as you are, you said he lost that fight. We both thought he lost the fight.
I thought he lost the fight.
And there was no way that we should even be talking about that. You know what I mean? Like, he had a bad performance, he had a bad this, he had a bad that, but he still clearly won the fight. No, that wasn't the case. He couldn't even hurt that dude.
There is an argument to be made that maybe he hit the wall in that fight. I don't know. I still think he's got one. I think he's got one good one left in him. We'll see. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting.
Look at that. He's back on Coke Zero. Love it, D-Style. Thank you so much. No more Diet Pepsi.
Not kissing Eric's ass on the first thing.
I'll stop it.
Why don't you just jump in the chat and stop brown nosing?
Stop it. What's the matter with you? What's the matter with you? You know, and as good as AJ looked yesterday, all right?
Yeah.
I'm not ready to just anoint him the next heavyweight champion. Yeah. Because we got to take into consideration who he beat. Mm-hmm. And he beat a guy that was 0-1 professionally.
Yeah.
0-1. So, listen, I can't put a whole lot. Listen, AJ did exactly what AJ was supposed to do.
He did.
To a guy who doesn't do this every day. Okay? This is exactly what was supposed to happen in the Fury fight. If Fury wasn't watched, this would have happened. But I'm telling you, man, AJ showed you how he should. But again, AJ's got new life in the heavyweight division. No question. This definitely brought him new life. Anytime you get a highlight reel cartoon knockout like that, it gives you life. But AJ is still AJ, the same AJ that we saw prior to this. Does this AJ beat Joseph Parker? I don't know. Joseph Parker looked pretty good. You know, they both him and Zhang look pretty good. Does he beat Zhang? Maybe. I don't know. I still think that there's, you know.
I think AJ beats Zhang. Oh, yeah.
Does he beat Usyk? Does he beat Usyk again?
I think he could.
I don't know. I think he could.
He could beat Usyk.
I thought he did better the second fight than he did the first fight.
Yeah.
But he still lost.
He lost.
You know, and so you kind of wonder about that. You know, you kind of wonder, you know, just because he beat again Francis Ngannou.
No, I know.
You know, we can't go crazy with AJ either and say he's the next heir apparent. But I agree with you.
It's got momentum.
I think Parker, I'll tell you what, I think Parker and I think Joshua have really come back and proved, at least gotten themselves.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Eric. That's why I don't want to write Fury off, because let's take a look at Parker, right? He went life and he lost to Dillian White. He went life and death with Chisora. And I thought he lost the first Chisora fight. And he looked so bad in that first fight that he had to rematch him. And then he gets knocked out by Joyce. And then look what he does. He comes back and has 2 huge upset victories. That's why this division, like even with Joshua, we were writing him off. Like he had when he was on the, I don't want to say he was on the slide, but something just didn't look right for a couple of fights. So I don't know, man. But here's
a big role, man. It really does.
The thing though. You do make a good point though. Fury at his worst should not struggle with Ngannou. You can't do that.
You have bad rounds. You won't look as good, or maybe you carried the guy 12 rounds or 10 rounds or whatever it was scheduled.
But he looked so tired in that fight. He was so heavy too. And then you schedule a fight though, Eric.
He was in shape just as much as he was for any other fight.
But Eric, how do you schedule a fight and then have the undisputed fight 5 weeks later? If you're thinking that fight's going to be a tough fight, why would you? You know what I mean?
It doesn't matter.
They were going into that like it was a sparring session, but you can't do that though.
But you know what? That's kind of the narrative. That's kind of the narrative. You know, and I know that you don't take anybody for granted at this level. Anybody, no matter what, you can't. No matter what sport they play, whatever. You can't, because people are throwing hands at you, and these are big guys throwing hands at you, and that's a big difference.
What about when Antonio Tarver fought Rocky Balboa? I mean, he took him lightly in that fight.
He took him very lightly, and look what happened. He broke his hand, lost a bunch of rounds, lost a very close decision, or won a very close decision. The fight should not have been that difficult, but he did break his hand in that fight.
But Rocky should not win on one judge's scorecard. That should not have been a split decision. But what happened? Antonio Tarver took him lightly.
Well, but he also broke his hand in the fight. That's a big difference. Now, listen, if Tyson Fury came to me and said, or came out and said, hey, I broke my hand during the fight, yeah, that's a problem.
All right.
You know, but, you know, he didn't. He didn't have any injuries, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. Well, the odds changed. So that
doesn't
the odds change,
especially after last time, especially after last night. Watching AJ just handle him the way he did,
and it's funny.
Doesn't surprise me at all.
It's so funny, Eric, because like I want to say maybe 2 weeks ago, I was at the casino with my friend, and he wanted to put a bet on Fury when Fury was like a -1. I think he was like a -170.
Yeah.
And I told him. I said, no, I think he was a -125. It wasn't a -170. He was like -125. And I said, don't bet him yet. I said, it's gonna get tighter. The odds are gonna get tighter. Because I knew those odds were gonna tighten up after AJ beat Ngannou in emphatic fashion. I knew that was gonna happen. So now you're gonna get Fury at a good price now if you want to bet him.
Yeah, if you want to bet him. And you know, I think I would stay away from that fight. There's just too much of an unknown now. I mean, there really is. There's too much of an unknown. Could Fury do it? Yeah, but I mean, would you bet your house on a guy who doesn't take, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not going to put any money on a guy who can't, I don't know which guy is going to show up. So, man, I'm staying out of that fight.
You know what it is, Eric? I can't fathom, and this is just probably me in my head. I can't fathom that what I saw was Tyson Fury on that day. I just can't process that.
Well, you can make a case. You can make a case that it wasn't Tyson Fury that day. Because how many times have you seen Terry Norris? You remember Terry Norris?
Yeah.
When he got smashed by Simon Brown in 4 rounds?
Yeah.
There's no way that guy's coming back in a rematch and winning that fight. None.
But he did.
And he dominated that fight. Won every single round.
And
the problem is he's 35. That's a big matzo ball.
You know what the other problem is too, Eric? You can't abuse your body for years after years after years.
It does make it difficult. But I will say he did look in good shape this weekend. He
looked phenomenal. He looked phenomenal.
He looked good. But again, remember Riddick Bowe when he got in shape for Andrew Galata? He was smashed there. He got beat both of those fights.
Yeah.
And he looked great. That was the best shape I'd ever seen him look. I mean, he looked good. And he came out there and just was completely flat. That's what you wonder. Does he overtrain? Does he come out completely flat because he's trying to overcompensate for that performance?
You're making good points here, Eric. I can't refute them.
It's tough. It's tough.
I can't unequivocally refute what you're saying 100%. I can't do it.
Yeah.
You're making good arguments.
Alexander Wilson, thank you so much. He said, was it me or was Nick Ball extremely dirty or was Vargas trying to act like he was dirty?
See, here's a problem with that. Everyone kept saying that. But when you want to grab and hold somebody like Vargas was doing, you can't get mad when the guy's working out of the clinch.
Oh.
You want to grab a guy, you want to lean on him, you want to just hold him. He's going to fight his way out of the clinch. He's a lot smaller than Vargas, so he's got to do what he did.
And people hate to get held, man. If you hold somebody in the gym, you're getting hit. I used to hold people all the time, and you knew it was coming. So it was like
he had to do what he did to fight out of those clinches.
Yeah,
he had to.
Yeah, I agree. All right. So about the anything else about the AJ and Ngannou? I thought AJ looked great, man.
No, I mean AJ saved the honor of the sport for us because if
I would have been floored.
We needed AJ to do what he did, and I want to just extend my greatest gratitude. Thank you, AJ, for what you did on Friday. Thank you so much.
I mean, geez, you got if he knocks out AJ, you're just like, man, we might have something. This guy is special, man. This is crazy. We don't see this.
And the way AJ did the business, it couldn't have been scripted any better. That's what we needed. We needed that to happen. We needed that to happen.
My son, we bet a pie bet. Unfortunately, we don't have any whipped cream here, so he'll do it next week maybe. I'm holding him to it. He's doing it. But he thinks Francis Ngannou. He thought Francis Ngannou was going to win the fight pretty easy, and I said, he was like, "There's no way AJ's going to beat him." I said, "Dude, you have no idea what you're talking about. You have no idea."
All the young UFC fans really believed in this in Ngannou, man. It's just crazy, man.
Yeah. I am your leader. Says MMA fans think it was fake. Listen, you don't fake that. He was out. There was
you don't fake
faking that one, buddy. But yeah, he thinks that Jake Paul. He thinks Jake Paul is going to beat Mike Tyson. All that crazy stuff, man. I'm like,
is that even going to be a real fight, though? I mean,
it's an exhibition, and I know there'll be rules with it and everything like that. It'll be an exhibition where nobody will probably win. And listen, man, it's a great. Again, it's in Texas Stadium. It's on Netflix. It's going to be a sellout. It brings eyes to the sport.
It does.
So everybody can hate Jake Paul all they want and blah, blah, blah. This isn't going to be a real fight. It's an exhibition.
I bet you it does. I bet you it does over 1 million pay-per-view buys.
Sure it will. Because you got a 58-year-old guy, and that's the equalizer.
Yeah.
It's not Jake Paul's right hand. It's the fact that Tyson's 58.
Imagine if Tyson just decides that he wants to just haul off and just like so when because if you look at like when he did that exhibition with Roy Jones, he wasn't even hitting him in the face.
No, he was just going straight to the body.
He's gonna hit him in the body.
Yeah.
You want to hurt him.
And I mean, listen, man, if Tyson decides that, like he hits him hard or something like that, and if Tyson decides, hey, I want to get you out of here, you're going out. There's not much you can do about it. I don't care how much boxing you think you have or whatever.
Yeah.
Again, you talk about levels. Remember Ken Buchanan? Remember that video of Ken Buchanan when he was like 70 or something like that, 70 or 80, and he was hitting that bag?
Yeah.
And I mean, he looked like he didn't miss a step, man.
Even Ray Leonard hitting the bag, Foreman hitting the bag. These guys are still working out.
Oh yeah, and they did this. You got to think they've done this for like every day for like how many years of their life was getting up, running, hitting the bag, going to the gym, getting hit in the face, trying to hit other people in the face. It's something you do every day. It's muscle memory. You never forget that.
It's muscle memory, yeah.
Reese Mack says 57 is still 57 though. Yeah, you're right. He is. AJ winning like that gave boxing the cool factor. Thank you so much, D-Style. He's right. D-Style was worried, man. I was getting nervous, man. He was like, AJ's got to win this fight. He's got to win this fight. Don't worry about it. It's all right, D-Style. I had to console him. I had to console the kid. He was getting really upset. Dante S or Dante's, whichever one, Dante S. Mike was horrible in his last real fights. Don't forget that. Listen, yeah, but it's not a real fight. Not a real fight. Just not.
Are we really going to break this down with X's and O's and shit now, please? An exhibition.
It's an exhibition. I don't know. You wonder if he's going to wear headgear or if headgear is going to be worn or I don't know.
Yeah.
Juan, that is a perfect saying. AJ mopping up Fury's embarrassment. Absolutely.
It was an embarrassment, man. There's no way around it.
Absolutely.
No way around it.
All right, let's talk about that co-main here. Zhilei Zhang, Big Bang Zhang versus Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker beats Zhang in a majority decision, 113-113 tied, 114-112 and 115-111. Parker was knocked down twice in the fight, but still managed to get the win. He seemed to outwork Zhang really in the later rounds. To me, I thought that right around the first 6 rounds, I had Zhang ahead, but then as it goes on, it seemed Parker was doing more work, and Zhang was definitely getting tired.
And that's what we said. We said that Parker's foot speed, his movement, and his work rate were gonna carry the day.
Yeah,
and it most certainly did.
I tell you what, man, Parker's looked good in his last 2 fights against Wilder and against Zhang. He's like the giant killer now. That's what they got him. That I call him the giant killer. Why not? I mean, this guy goes in there and it's like. This guy goes in there and it's like, man, he's got both his fights, man. He's looked really good.
He did.
He's looked very good, man. Tony Hill says Zhang throwing 6 punches around. Where does Zhang go from here? Because he didn't look bad.
He's got a rematch clause.
That's right. He sure does. And my guess is that they'll run it back.
They'll run it back, yeah. He'll exercise it.
Yeah. And I wonder if they run it back in Saudi or, what if they could run it back in China, man?
I know, that would be something.
That'd be great, wouldn't it? I mean, all those people and seeing their guy, man, that'd be great.
We both picked Parker to win, didn't we? I picked Parker. Did you pick Parker?
We both picked Parker.
I did. You did. I even think someone told me Nacho picked Parker. I'm surprised because Nacho always picks the favorites, man. That guy always bets the chalk.
Stupid.
Last time that guy picked an underdog, I think Carter was president, man. He never picks underdogs, man.
Carter? You went way back, didn't you? Ray Vargas versus Nick Ball for Vargas' WBC featherweight championship. They fought to a split decision draw, 114-112 for Vargas, 116-110 for Ball, and 113-113. Vargas was knocked down twice in the 8th and the 11th round. Beeb, I didn't catch this fight.
Oh, this was
I to go see it. I know. I got to go check it out because I heard
really good fight.
I heard Vargas won the first 6 rounds, but after that, it seemed to really turn. And with 4 points going Nick Ball's way, was this really a draw?
Wasn't a draw on my card.
Who did you have winning this?
I had Nick Ball winning this fight. I thought that, again, Vargas did not like when Nick Ball got in his chest. He tried to grab him and hold him and freeze the action. And much to the dismay of these people in the chat and people on Twitter who want to go watch ballet instead of realizing this is a fight. And when you fight, it's going to be physical sometimes. Oh, he's dirty. Don't grab him, and he won't have to muscle you. He won't have to work his way and wrestle his way out of the clinches if you don't try to grab him and hold him.
Right.
I mean, he's a smaller guy. You're the bigger guy. All right. He's got to work on the inside. He has to be able to work on the inside. And if you're going to hold him like that, he has to fight and wrestle his way out of those clinches. So that's what he did, and, you have 2 10-8 rounds for Ball, right? So even if you had it even in rounds,
still got 4 rounds for Ball right there.
Yeah, it's 114 and 112. Yeah, I had it. I had it 7-5 for Ball. My scorecard was like one of the judges. I had it 115 and 111. The other judge had it 114 and 112. Honestly, if you have it, I can't see myself how Vargas got 7 rounds to make it a draw on one judge's card, but a couple people I know had it a draw. I think Base the Kid on Twitter, he had it a draw. Was it impossible to give Vargas 7 rounds? I don't know. I gave him 5 of the first 6, and then from 7 to 12, I gave Ball every round. Yeah. Right? I don't see how you can give Vargas a round from 7 to 12, but apparently maybe a couple people did. Maybe they gave him. I guess if you give him round 10, a lot of people say was close. So if you give Vargas round 10, right, then you give him the first 6, and then you give him round 10. I guess you could have it a draw. I don't want to shit on people's scorecards, but I don't know. I had a feeling that this could get a little controversial, and I was right. I was right. It was funny too, because Vargas kept saying, I went in his backyard. Dude, the guy's not from Saudi. But I know what you're
talking about. I know what you're talking about, but yeah.
Yeah, because he was the house fighter, and he came over to his promotion because he's still I guess he's still a PBC fighter. A lot of people thought he left PBC. No, they just lent because at the press conference he said, I want to thank my promoter. They still call Al Heyman a promoter, even though he doesn't have a promotions license. I don't think he has a promotional license because he has Tom Brown all promoting the fights for him. So, but so I guess he was trying to say, like, I came over here, I wasn't the house fighter, I was technically the B side, and I didn't feel as though I got treated properly or whatever because I wasn't the house fighter, I guess, but. I don't know. It was a draw. Was a draw possible? Yeah. It was just. I thought it was a stretch, but I guess you could get there. It's not impossible to get there.
Who does Ball is Ball with Frank Warren?
Yes, he's a Frank.
That's Warren. What Eddie Hearn. They had asked Eddie Hearn if you could have anybody on this card who's not yours, who would you take? And he said Nick Ball. And he didn't hesitate. Out of everybody on that card, he said Nick Ball. He
likes Nick Ball a lot. Eddie Hearn does. And again, he's got a lot of upside because he's still fairly young. He's getting better. And he's a good fighter. He's a good fighter. He really is. He's a good inside fighter. He's got quick feet. So obviously he's not the biggest, tallest, longest guy in the world, but he knows how to make up for his physical deficiencies in terms of his size. He's got the quick feet, puts his shots together very well. Actually, he has a good jab, changes levels. He's really elusive and crafty when he comes in because once he changes levels and dips down low and throws the jab when he's dipping down low and then he springs up with the hook. I mean, he's good. He's a good fighter. He's a good fighter. He knows how to make the most of what he has. And he most certainly did, in my opinion, on Friday. But
yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Hopefully they run it back.
So, what do you think happens? I mean, do they run this back or what do they do?
Where does Vargas go after this? I mean, I think they should run it back.
You think they run it back in the States?
You could put this fight and you could do Zhang Parker again. You could throw these on the. You could throw both of these fights. Where are we at right now? No, we can't. It's still a little too early. You know what you could do? You could put Nick Ball, and you could put Parker Zhang on maybe that June 1st card that they're doing with Bivol Beterbiev. Could do that.
Possibly.
Maybe. So we'll see.
Because I don't think either one of these guys can headline.
Parker Zhang, they could headline that. They could that could be a headliner. But sometimes it's good to be to be on the a co-main or be on the undercard of a huge event like this.
Yeah, I agree.
Get more exposure.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially if you're getting paid well. What difference does it make?
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
All
right, let's talk about the upcoming fights here. March 15th, New York on UFC Fight Pass. Callum Walsh versus Darren Yelusanov. 10 rounds, junior middleweights. Cletus Selden versus the dreaded TBA, and he's at a junior welterweight. So that'll be on UFC Fight Pass. March 16th, I believe this is Saturday, March 16th. William Zepeda, this is on DAZN from Las Vegas. William Zepeda versus Maxie Hughes, 12 rounds for the IBF and WBA lightweight title eliminator. Floyd Schofield versus Asturi Suero, 10 rounds lightweights. Floyd Schofield is an up-and-comer.
He's good.
And he's pretty good. Definitely worth watching. Definitely worth watching. Victor Morales Jr. versus Luis Nunez, 10 rounds featherweights. And Marlon Esparza versus Gabriel Alanes. Who cares? So not a great DAZN card. Not a great DAZN card, Beeb. Do you agree with that?
Yes. And, I was thinking about this the other day because you talk about DAZN a lot. And I was really thinking about it. So you pay $20 a month, right? Some months, you may watch one fight, right? If you're lucky, you may get 2 fights in a month. But
yeah.
I would average it out to about 1 fight a month, right? That's without the pay-per-views. So I'm going to pay $20 a month or $18.75, whatever the hell it is, for an app that I'm only opening up once a month.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to myself, you know what? Nah. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Not only that, right? You say it's $20 a month, but kind of, because you have to cancel it 30 days in. You have to give them 30 days notice to cancel. You can't just cancel a week before it's supposed to renew. You have to cancel 30 days. So it's almost impossible. You have to watch the fight and then the next day literally cancel the same day.
So if you don't cancel 30 days before, they will. So what about? So I pay for a yearly membership. Right. I canceled on Friday.
Okay.
So my membership, my subscription was supposed to renew, I think, on the 25th of March, and I canceled on. Did I cancel? No, I canceled last week. I think I canceled Thursday.
A year in advance. These are people for, like, if they want to watch the fight. Like if I wanted to watch the fight yesterday, I plunked down X amount of dollars to get DAZN, and then I have to pay for whatever. So the fight's going to be $70 or $80 anyway if you don't have it, even if you go get it. Okay. But then if you go month to month with the payments,
so they're not going to charge me then because I can't. Okay, good. Yeah, I canceled. I did cancel.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous because, like I said, that's again, and you had a great card yesterday, really good card. I thought, fun fights. But again, it's one card and it was pay-per-view. It was a pay-per-view card. It wasn't like it was free on there. So you had to pay the 20. And so what? It was like, how much was the pay-per-view on DAZN?
$39.
All right, so $40 plus your 25 or whatever. So it's like $65, $70.
Yeah, because people think, oh, it's only $40. No,
yeah, but it's not.
You're still paying $20 up for the month.
Right.
You're still paying $20 for the month. And ESPN Plus is like what, $8 a month, $9 a month?
Yeah. And they've always got fairly good stuff on there. I mean, we watch it for other things than fights,
Yeah. I mean, like, and it's half the price of what they're charging. Like, that is not a bargain, bro.
No, it's not.
It's not a bargain. And they're raising their price to, like, I think $30 a month now. If you don't go,
Goodbye.
Forget about it.
Nope.
Forget about it.
DAZN in America should be $10. Yeah, he's right. He's 100% right. 100% right. And that's it. That's it for next week. We don't really get into any on March 23rd, Dalton Smith versus Jose Cepeda. That's on DAZN.
Yeah.
Whatever. March 30th is when it kind of kicks off here. You got Tim Tszyu versus Keith Thurman. That's on the Prime Video pay-per-view.
Are you interested in seeing how that platform, how it's going to be watching a fight on Amazon
Against Keith Thurman and Tim Tszyu? No.
I'm not interested in the fight, but are you interested in how that like that's going to work, like the production and everything, like who's going to be the announcers? Like I'm just curious how that whole thing's going to look on March 30th.
I wonder who their announcers are going to be.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm a little bit.
You think Jim Lampley comes back?
I don't
or
know.
Mike Kellerman?
I don't imagine if they hire them again. You know, it would be a great.
That would be great.
You took Jim Lampley, Max Kellerman, and Al Bernstein, all three of them together. What would that would be like a monster trio, right?
Yeah, but Bernstein and Lampley are both color guys, though, aren't they?
Yeah, they're kind of color guys. But again, sometimes you can have
work well together, though. I've heard them before.
You could have two color guys and like one play-by-play type guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. JC asked me, do I think Sean O'Malley folds Ryan Garcia? Yeah. Boxing, no. But in just regular fight, yeah, of course. Sean O'Malley's a bad man. I'll tell you that right now. If you didn't see him last night, go watch that fight. That was a complete clinic that he put on Chito Vera last night. Insane.
Good fight, right?
Yeah, he's so good, man. And you know what? And Sean O'Malley is one of those guys that gets better with the title.
I was gonna say he's better.
Yeah, he's definitely better than when he won it. You can see the confidence. You could see him growing. You could see him, just different stuff he does. Yeah, he's definitely a better fighter now with the title than he was without it. So some people do that. Some people rise with the title. Some people just kind of stagnate with the title. I don't know. All right. Before we go to the phones, I want to get this subject out here on our news and rumors here. Ryan Garcia, and I've sent you a bunch of videos, and I know you've probably seen them, most of them anyway.
I have, yeah.
You're way you see like 20 times more videos than I do,
Yeah.
And I always feel like a goof sending you videos. I'm like, he's already seen this, It's like,
okay.
Ryan Garcia has really kind of gone off the deep end here, going live with Andrew Tate and talking about child trafficking. He's been on Instagram Live the past week talking about the same thing. You can hear people next to him in the live telling him to stop and that people are worried about his well-being, his mental health, and everything like that. De La Hoya came out and was interviewed by Ariel Helwani and a few other people, was asked about Garcia's behavior, and he just laughed it off and said he's been in training, blah, blah, blah. De La Hoya could care less about this guy or anybody else not named De La Hoya. One of the worst human beings on the planet, just in my opinion. But be that as it may, I'll be honest with you. I don't think this fight comes off. And rumor has it that Garcia is already trying to change the date. I heard this on, I think Malignaggi or somebody was talking about that Ryan
really
already trying to change the date to like May something.
Really? I didn't hear that.
Yeah. That's what I heard on, I think it was Pro Box TV I was watching.
Okay. Here's my take on it. And
don't quote me on that, but I heard it somewhere on one of those channels.
Okay, but I'm not going to rule it out. Here's my take on it, right? Steve Kim said this, and I agree with 110%. I think the guy's a narcissist. I honestly believe this guy just will do anything to try to get attention. I think this guy's probably growing up. He was pampered. You could just tell, like the way his dad, like kind of like he can do no wrong, right? Like in his dad's eyes and his family's eyes.
His mom's eyes too. Yeah, his mom.
Almost like they coddled him since he was always probably their favorite. He was coddled, and And my mom used to I was a mama's boy, but guess what? Beeb Sr., he wasn't having it, man.
Yeah.
Paula, stop babying him. And then he would just do the opposite.
Right.
She was like the yin and he was the yang.
Yeah.
You don't have that. There's no good cop. There's no good cop, bad cop dynamic in that household.
Right.
Do you want another scoop of ice cream, Ryan, on your cake? That's what's going on over. That's what was going on over there when he was growing up. Okay.
I think that might still be going on now.
Sort of like how Mrs. Herrick does that to Robbie still to this day. But I don't want to go there because when he comes on, we'll talk about that later. But you know, you don't when you have been told your whole life that you've never did anything wrong and it's not your fault, then guess what? That's something you carry with you in the mentality. And it's like, you know, everything that happened in that Tank fight, he had an excuse for it. He had an excuse for it. This was wrong. That was wrong. This was
And then he switched trainers immediately.
And then he switched trainers. And you don't think that Derek James is not going to be Audi 5000 after this fight when he loses again?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you know, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, and what, you know, Derek James, I mean, like, he's got to be like, you know, he's seeing all this stuff too, you know, and you can't, I mean, that second press conference, there was something wrong with him. He was on something, he was compromised in some way. And like, you hear these videos, do you hear the videos? You heard the videos, right?
Yeah.
It's scary. It's scary the way he's talking because
I'm going to be honest with you, man. I'm going to be honest with you, man. This is probably not a popular take. I think he's acting. I think he may be a little off, but I think he's exaggerating how off. Like, he just wants attention. He thinks that this is good, right? He thinks, oh wow, everyone's, and then I'm trolling. He thinks this is funny. Like, I really believe that he thinks this is funny. He thinks that this is going to help promote the fight. I really believe that.
I think Dante S here has a great take, and it's kind of what I'm thinking when you said that. That's kind of where I was going. I was thinking about this. He says, I think that he thinks that he's trolling, but it's 100% real. The joke is really on him. Yeah, and I think he might be right. I mean,
he's talking about Alex Jones conspiracy theories. Like, come on, man.
Well, he went on Instagram and said, Alex Jones has to call me. WTF, you know? Like, dude, if Alex Jones is saying you're out in left field, what? I mean, you know.
Yeah.
This is the same guy who did the Pizzagate thing or whatever, which was proved to be, you know, all of his stories were proved to be nonsense. Like 90% of his shit was nonsense.
A lot of them.
Yeah. It's like, come on. All right, let me get Robbie up here. 530, you're live.
Hello, guys. How are you?
What's the word, Robbie?
What time did you watch your pay-per-view start on Friday?
Like 7 a.m.
Mine started at 7 a.m. 7 a.m.
He didn't even go to bed. He didn't even go to bed. He just stayed right up. He didn't even go to bed.
You and Mrs. Herrick didn't get to go to the park that day like you always do on Fridays.
Stop.
No, I watched it from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., man. It was a good day. Okay, a couple of things. First of all, the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight will not be a pay-per-view on Netflix. If you're a Netflix subscriber and you pay a monthly subscription, you'll be able to watch that fight. There's no extra cost. Number two, for Amazon Prime, I heard the Showtime crew will be their announcers. Ranello, Bernstein, and Abner Morat.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's the same crew they had. So yeah, that's right. That's the same crew they had.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I don't hate that.
Yeah. So, no, Friday was a great day, man. Good fights. No complaints at all. Joshua did what he needed to do. Now, in the Parker Zhang case, do you think Father Time has caught up with Zhang? Because he totally destroyed Joe Joyce twice, but it seems like he really couldn't do anything. with Parker, especially the second half of the fight.
Well, Parker's a better mover than Joyce. He's a better, he's a better boxer, I think, than Joyce.
All you got to do is go back and watch the Jerry Forrest fight, and then you go back and watch the Hrgovic fight, and you just can see that this guy fights at a slow pace. If he doesn't hurt you, and get you out of there, then there's a chance that you could outwork him late in the fight. It's the formula that works.
Right.
Joseph Parker is in phenomenal shape. He's got very quick hands, very quick feet, and he's a great mover. He knows how to change levels. He knows how to throw feints. He knows how to be tricky. Right. He knows how to be tricky on his way in. He gives you so many different looks. He doesn't just barrel in. Sometimes he gives you that little foot feint, and then he just throws a jab and in and out, boom, boom.
Power too. It's not like,
and he's got enough to hurt you too. Exactly. So you could tell Zhang was having problems, and he was getting frustrated with that, Robbie.
Yeah. I think you hit it right on the head, Beeb. I think on the June 1st Saudi card, I think you could see both of these fights: the Vargas fight and the Parker Zhang rematch.
Why not?
That's perfect.
What did you think about Anthony Joshua?
Hey, he did what he needed to do, and he restored the faith in boxing fans.
You were worried, weren't you, Robert? Were you scared like these?
No, I wasn't. No, absolutely not. I wasn't worried at all.
No, I wasn't either.
I knew that.
Mrs. Herrick told me you were like locked yourself in your bathroom before the fight. You were nervous.
No,
throw it up.
No, Anthony
Herrick told me that.
Anthony Joshua took the fight a lot more seriously than Tyson Fury did.
Did he though?
And frankly, yeah, I do.
You think so,
Eric? I think Joshua took Ngannou a lot more seriously than Fury did. I honestly believe that.
I think Fury's washed, son.
And I think we're going to see a different Tyson Fury come May 18th.
I think you're going to see him get laid out May 15th.
Well, no, Usyk only has 14 knockouts and 21 wins. And I don't see him hurting.
Knockout that. How many knockouts do you have, Robert? That's a nothing.
I don't have any because I'm not a fighter.
Two-thirds of his fights have ended in knockouts, Robert.
That's something to sneeze at.
Right.
Yeah. Well, look.
He's not knocking out cab drivers, son. I mean, he almost put away AJ.
Hey, Eric, because of the size difference, I don't see him hurting Fury like that.
How big was AJ? AJ's the same size as Fury. AJ, they're 6'6", 6'7".
No, Fury's 2 inches taller. Fury's 2 inches taller and at least 20 pounds heavier than Joshua.
Dude,
are we really gonna split hairs here about 2 inches?
No. Give me a break.
I mean,
break.
You miss one day. You miss one day at the park, and you don't go to your Friday night Applebee's, and you're just all discombobulated.
We can argue over 2 inches.
No, we're not. I ain't gonna waste my time with that. I'll put it like that.
I could really go like a few different places with that comment.
Yeah, and this is a family show, even though Joe tries to make it as X-rated as possible.
Iceman, right where I was going. That's what she said.
All right.
What do you think about Ryan Garcia, Robert? What's your take on this? Are you privy to what's going on?
Yeah, I've been keeping up with things, and frankly, I don't believe he's trolling. I think there's something seriously wrong with the dude. And if he's allowed to fight Devin Haney, I don't normally say this about his
allowed.
Because
what's he need a permission slip from his mother to fight Devin Haney? What is this?
She'll sign it too because she likes him. She's
sign that. If he's allowed.
No, I'm talking about medical clearance, guys. If he's cleared to fight and allowed to fight, I think Devin Haney will get a knockout. I think that's how bad in shape Garcia's in, because he's not concentrating on the fight at all. This stuff is ridiculous.
Big Tex just doesn't care about 2 inches.
Let's get that down. Let's get that down. Come on.
Oh, give me a break.
We're going to leave that up. I'm going to
that.
leave that up. What?
I hate that whole gag anyway.
What gag?
It needs to go away.
That he calls up? That he likes Beeb? You don't like fans of Beeb.
I mean, it makes me feel uncomfortable. It does make me feel uncomfortable, Roddy. But you got to let the guy be himself, man. You can't hate on the guy because that's who he is. You gotta be inclusive of all types of people, Robert.
All of them. Be inclusive, Robert. Stop.
I know you have your little circle over there in San Francisco over there, wherever the hell you're at. But I mean, there's a big world out there with a lot of different people out there. You have to accept everyone. Of course, it makes my stomach turn, but you know what? I got to deal with it. It's part and parcel of the show.
Hey, when are the A's leaving? When are the A's leaving to Las Vegas?
They're supposed to leave Oakland after this year, but the problem is the new stadium in Vegas is not going to be ready until 2028. So they have to find a place to play.
What do you have the architectural plans?
UNLV Stadium over there, Cashman Field. Cashman Field, where the 51s play.
You know it's not going to be ready yet. What do you have? The architectural plan of the house?
They have a new minor league ballpark now for the AAA team, and it does feed about 10,000 people. That could be a possibility.
That's about how many they were getting in Oakland.
See what happens.
They were getting about 6,000 over there.
Eric, I'm an A's fan, and people are pissed off at the way everything is being handled. So,
sure, I would be too.
For not showing up.
Yeah, I would be too, man. All right, Robert, we're going to put you on hold. We're going to get moving here.
Take a walk.
All right,
thanks, brother. All right, and then we're going to get back to the phones in just a second here. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson has been signed. That fight will take place in Dallas Stadium, Beeb, July 20th on Netflix. It is an exhibition. It is important to use that word, exhibition. We don't know if anybody will have headgear. We don't know. There's a lot of uncertainty. I guarantee rules will start coming out as the fight gets closer. But I believe everybody's just signed and on board with it. But yeah, I think as it gets closer, we'll figure out more about what's actually going to take place here.
Yeah.
This is one I just don't get, Beeb. I don't get this at all. This blows me away here. Manny Pacquiao and Benn are in advanced talks, according to ESPN and Mike Coppinger, and I've heard this other sources as well. They're in advanced talks to fight each other at 147 pounds. Manny Pacquiao and Benn travel to Riyadh to meet each other and see if they can finalize a fight with Saudi Arabia officials. This is awful. This is really bad. This is not a good fight.
Not crazy about this one.
No, I'm not either. And I don't know why he's so anxious to fight. He wanted to fight in the Olympics. He wants to fight again. Listen, dude, it's over.
He does look good, though. Like he looks very good for his age, I have to say. That doesn't mean anything, though.
Right. Well, that's the thing. It doesn't mean squat. You know, I mean, you and I look great for our ages.
I look good for my age, man. But I could get knocked out by the cashier at Publix, man. Any minute if I walk in that place.
That guy trains every day, by the way.
Yeah.
That's not
I was talking about the girl, not the guy. I was talking about the girl.
Well, that's a different animal too. So what are you going to do? Crawford and Eubank. The fight is rumored now and would have Crawford jumping up 2 weight classes to fight Chris Eubank Jr. This is an easy fight for Crawford. I believe it's an easy fight for Crawford. Kind of reminds me of the Donnie Lalonde Ray Leonard fight. Where
what a great comparison. What a perfect comparison that is.
Yeah, Eubank's got a big right hand. He's got some power. He's not going to be able to land it though. And he's a bigger guy. It'll look great on the lead-ins and when you see them next to each other and stuff. But yeah, I think Crawford's trying to justify his position to Canelo that, hey, if I get a good win at 160, maybe you can take a second look at me at 168. Take that fight serious. That's not a bad deal because we know he's not fighting Benavidez anytime soon, right? Yeah. We all know that. That's not happening this year. That sucks.
I'm optimistic for September, but we'll see.
Well, listen, man, it's not a done deal yet because Canelo is still with PBC. He is still with PBC. He will face, it is official, undisputed super middleweight champion Canelo Alvarez will face, drumroll, Jaime Munguia. On May 4th at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. It'll be PBC who promotes the event. It will be on Prime Video. All right. So there you go. Beeb, like this fight? I hate the fight. I'm assuming you hate the fight too?
I don't hate it. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. I like what Munguia did in his last 2 fights. So, and again, Canelo is still a great fighter, but he's slipped a little bit.
He is, but this is the perfect guy to put him in against.
Yeah.
Especially because he has that slippage, this is a perfect guy to put him in against.
So you would be surprised if this fight was competitive.
Yes, very much. Very much. No, it will not be competitive at all. Okay. In fact, this fight's going to end in 6 rounds.
So you think Canelo stops him? Because Canelo didn't even stop Charlo. But you think because the way Munguia fights, he's going to be more aggressive.
The style of Munguia is going to play right into Canelo. Canelo's going to hit him and hit him hard.
Interesting.
Yeah. Just different styles. To me, it's going to be a different style fight. Now, I'm more interested if when is let's see here. It doesn't have a date for the Crawford or when they're looking at, but I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility. That he can fight Crawford. There's still PBC. He can fight Crawford. Will it happen? I don't know. But,
if he looks great against Eubank and has no problem fighting at that higher weight, then maybe we can say, hey.
It's a perfect style matchup for him because you have the power. Chris Eubank carries a lot of power with him. You know what I mean? He's got stop power, but he's not really the greatest boxer out there. We saw that in the Billy Joe Saunders fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's going to check out somewhere in that fight because he's not going to be able to touch Crawford. And it's a great style matchup for Crawford. It's a great matchmaking opportunity for Crawford if he takes this. Yeah.
And you think Crawford could beat Canelo right now, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Like I said, man, it'll be because Crawford can hit.
He can.
And Crawford is in really good shape for his age. He's in really good shape. He's shown no slippage.
Yeah. Crawford's never had a tough, an iffy fight at all. He's won clearly in all his fights. He's never had a close.
And he's fought. And listen, man, and anybody can say, well, he didn't fight this guy or he didn't fight this guy. They weren't in their prime or whatever. When he collected all those belts, all those guys were good fighters.
Yeah.
They were all good.
He never had a close fight.
No, not even a little bit. Not even one that was remotely close, So there you go. 760. You're live.
Hey, what's going on, fellas? It's Brian. What's up?
Brian, what's up?
Man, don't hang up. What's up?
Brian didn't call in for 6 months because he got so scared you're gonna hang up on him.
That's the way it is, man. You know how we are over here.
You got me scared, man. Look, I just had to get a laugh, man, because I was so proud of what Anthony Joshua did yesterday. Oh my God, and he did it.
You were scared too, weren't you?
That shit was crazy, man.
Everyone was afraid, man.
No,
everyone was nervous, man.
Could beat him. Yeah, well, I guess I was a little nervous. I'm gonna be honest with you, because I was like, man, we can't have this. That shit. I'm glad Anthony Joshua made that shit right because he did it easy, huh? He just used a simple 1, 1, 2, bam.
I would say that was pretty easy.
And a straight, and that was so basic. It makes me wonder though. I'm like, damn, he knocked him out. I mean, he knocked him out so cold too. He was on the ground. He was he woke up. He said, "I have never seen such power in my life. Never. Did I get hit by a plane? Did I get hit by a train? Who the fuck hit me?" He didn't know what happened.
He was out.
But it makes me wonder. he was out. But it makes me wonder. I'm like, okay, what happened? Okay, D, this your boy right here, Tyson Fury. I know you part of the, what do you call it? The Furymaniacs.
Furymaniacs, and we've been taking a lot of heat lately, man. We've been taking a lot of heat lately. I've been getting a lot of hate mail.
I mean,
I was called up telling me I could possibly lose my post because I'm not doing enough positive PR right now. I told the team over there's nothing I can really do, man. We got to take an L on this one. I told them. They didn't want to hear it.
All right, Brian, thanks for calling, man. We appreciate it, man. We're going to get running. All right, let's go.
Don't do that to him, man.
I was like, there you go. Hey, but B, man, B, your boy, man, Fury. You still, okay, let me ask Eric. I'm going to ask Eric first. Eric, do you think that Usyk has a chance right about now?
He's picking Usyk.
Fury?
Yeah.
He's picking Usyk.
He's washing Fury.
Oh, you picking Usyk?
Yeah, he's washing
Usyk.
Okay,
Fury's finished, son. You've seen it.
Okay, because I'm like, man, after that performance by Anthony Joshua, it ain't like Anthony Joshua did something amazing. He just used some straight up simple shit, knocked out Ngannou. You know what I'm saying? And it makes me wonder, like, is something wrong with Fury?
Yeah, I agree.
It makes me wonder if something is.
I picked as soon as that fight with Ngannou ended, I picked Usyk in that fight.
Yeah, because I'm like, you guys really think? You know what I think it is? I think Fury just been playing, just like you guys said. He wasn't serious. I don't know. How serious has he been in his whole career, to be honest? Is all this catching up to him?
Listen,
I don't know.
This is no time.
All I know is that
this is no time to be like up and down and not be focused, man. There's too many big fights ahead of you to not take things serious, man.
Yeah,
and that's a problem, bro. I mean,
and see, right about now, and if you think, for me, because it's like, okay, Fury bigger, he should win. He got the better reach. That's what I want to believe in my mind. But then it's like, okay, does he got an on and off switch? Because he done turned it off for a minute, so he's just gonna turn it on, on the fight night. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I kind of favor Usyk right now.
Yeah, for sure.
He's the favorite. He's actually the favorite right now. Fury was the favorite, and after that fight that Joshua had with Ngannou, Fury's now the underdog.
Yeah,
which I predicted was going to happen anyway.
Off, man, because they keep saying, "Oh, he had a bad day in the office." Yeah. That's just like if you were fucking a pilot or something, and you have a bad day and you crash the damn plane. It's like, man, that's not. Yeah, it's like, come on, man. He crashed the damn plane. This guy, that ain't no bad day. He might be off. It might be his legs, his punch resistance.
Everything.
Something got to be off, man.
Everything.
Where Ngannou was, this dude, Ngannou, I don't even see how he even touched Tyson Fury. You know what I'm saying? Unless something off. Something got to be off, man. You know what I'm saying? But,
it was embarrassing.
I agree.
It was.
All right, Brian,
but,
we're going to get rolling here.
You don't got to hang up on me. Thank you, man. I appreciate you guys.
All right, man. All right. 443, you're live. 443.
Troy, what's happening, my man? How you doing?
Oh, 2 rounds, and this is the only MMA guy thanks to you, Mr. Tyson Fury lover. Now, to you guys in MMA, just because someone could strike does not mean that they're pugilists. They're just like a 2 different things, which you saw last night. And as I've always stated to you, sir, Tyson Fury is not a great fighter. He's great against guys who really can't box. Guys that he actually thinks seriously that can't box. Wilder, Derek Chisora, guys like that. But if you can box, you're going to beat him. Now, fast forward to his fight with Usyk. Usyk is going to outlast him and beat him on points. That's the way the fight's going. It's not even going to be a pretty fight. It's going to be, unless he makes it ugly like he did with Klitschko, disgusting and ugly like he did with Klitschko, which he probably will. That's the only way he wins. What are your thoughts?
I mean, it's not a good look for Tyson Fury after what happened on Friday. I mean, it's people are
washed by Usyk.
He's now become the underdog now. On the odds have him as the underdog.
Let me tell you what, the odds are going to get wider.
They're probably going to get wider.
I'm telling you. I don't care. Again, we'll go back to it over and over. I don't care if he didn't train a lick, he should not have looked like that against that guy.
Mm-hmm.
I can't defend Fury right now. Whatever, I'm
shouldn't be defending him at all.
There's nothing I can say to defend what happened on that night. Just can't.
All right. Well, let me say this before I'm out of here. Fury has an Achilles heel. That's good boxers. Just ask Steve Cunningham. Just ask Wallin, who's a decent boxer. He can take a punch. Fury's not a puncher because he doesn't dig his feet in too punch. He's always set to move. So that's why he had so much trouble with Steve Cunningham. I'm sorry. That's why he got dropped by him. He had so much trouble with Wallin because he couldn't do nothing to Wallin. He couldn't hurt him. And that's why he had problems with a guy that had 0-0 on his record because he couldn't hurt him. And what hurts Fury is that he goes up and down in weight. He doesn't stay in shape. And those three, I would say 2 fights with Wilder took a lot out of him. The second and the third. The first one he actually won that, but they didn't give it to him. So that's what he's on his last leg. I say once Usyk beat him, he should just go away, take the money and go away, and then just live his happy gypsy life. Y'all have a good day. And to all you MMA guys, it's so hard to say goodbye, but we must. Shut the hell up now.
They were crying. They were crying on Friday.
The MMA guys?
Oh, yeah.
What did they think was going to happen? I mean, for real. Like,
hey, you know what? Let them believe. Let them have hope.
Oh, stop it.
Let them have their hope.
Come on, man. It's
always good to dream once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised that anybody thought he was really going to give AJ even a run. I'm like
Antonio picked him. Mrs. Herrick picked him.
Antonio picked him. Antonio's also picked Jake Paul, so I don't know.
I mean, Mrs. Herrick picked him too.
That's true. 716. 3, 2, 1. Bloop. All right, 445. Pennsylvania, maybe? 445, you're live.
Yeah, so thank God AJ saved us.
What's this?
Another thing is, like, it was gonna happen. It was gonna.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
AJ. At the same time, I think Fury is like 36 a big body. I mean, 36 of the big body, he's not going to be the same. Like athletes or different combat sports for 36 who have a big body don't do well later on. So that's the first thing. Second thing is with Francis in his first fight, you could see his defense was much better than his fight against Joshua. What do you guys think?
Well, I think that could be true.
Yeah, I don't, like I said, man, I don't think
that as well. Of course, still at the same time, he should like won that fight. Fury, I'm not excusing him, but like, I mean, he looked like an MMA guy against AJ. And against Fury, although Fury was shit, at least his defense, his hands were better. When he was boxing against AJ, he was doing like MMA stuff, keeping his hand, like, try to. We didn't do that in boxing.
You know what? And you know what that was? That was inexperience.
And
that's why he kept doing that MMA stuff in the ring like that. It was.
You can't cram 10 years of experience into 2 training camps. You can't do that.
No.
You know, this is the way it
you
is.
can't do that. But my like how
that
can,
would be like me
how can like
trying to take the bar exam after never studying.
Right. All right, let me let him back on here.
But AJ should have still won for me. But my thing is, with Usyk and Fury, for me, Usyk was always like the favorite going into the fight because like the way Usyk fights is nightmare matter for Fury because Fury likes to clinch and Usyk has a sambo background. How you guys are similar to sambo, so they're good with clinches and stuff. So, and also Usyk is also the most technical boxer Fury ever fought. So for me, Usyk was still the favorite. Now it makes him more of a favorite. For me, Usyk should like be the undisputed heavyweight champion.
That is. All right, my friend, Pennsylvania, we're going to get running. Thank you so much. 267, you're live.
Philly Drew.
Is it Philly Drew?
I think so.
Yeah. Yes, Philly Drew.
Philly
What's
Drew.
up? What's up, Drew?
I had nothing much. I'll be honest with you. I guess the AJ fangirls had an orgasm watching him knock out Ngannou like that. But, man, I'll be honest with you, man. It was a good knockout. It was a good statement. But I think people are going to try to use the triangle theory on this if he ever was to fight Fury and everything. And I still think Fury beats AJ. I don't think AJ doesn't ever beat Usyk. It's just a revival of his old ways and everything. But the old AJ was always beatable. But I'm done talking about that. But Canelo, I have Canelo beat knocking out or stopping Munguia in 10. I just think Munguia will be able to take damage and he'll take too much, and I think the corner will call it off.
That could happen, yeah.
And because he'll probably. But I think we're not going to see the Benavidez fight. I think Canelo's in that phase of his career now, just as Floyd was at the end. Low risk, high reward. That's what I think he's in that phase now. He feels like he's the cash cow. He gets all this money. He should be able to pick who he wants to fight. And it won't be anybody that's really going to be that dangerous, you know? Like, I don't see him. I could see him maybe moving up in weight to fight somebody, but I don't think he's going to generally take a big risk in his career again.
Okay.
I think that's possible. That's possible. But I mean, any fighter, I mean, you know, I don't think Munguia is a big risk. I think Crawford could be a risk. I don't know. But as far as like a Benavidez or a Bivol again, no. Those fights are gone. He's not fighting them guys again. No way.
I don't think he will fight Crawford because it is a risk. Because what happens if Crawford outboxes him from 12 rounds, and you see how that's going to fit on his legacy, being outboxed guy coming up from 3 or 4 weight classes down and beat you.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge risk.
Yep, it is.
Like Crawford, I think he avoids that fight. I think
a lot of risk and not a lot of reward.
And then if you do lose to Crawford, you're going to be the guy that lost to a guy that was like coming up 3 weight classes below you.
Right.
So, and he's older than him.
Yeah.
Too. He's 36, Crawford.
That's right.
But
yeah.
I think we're going to possibly get in September Jamal Charlo.
I hope not.
Not. That would be horrible.
I hope
not either.
Yeah, that would be awful.
But I would not be surprised.
You know what?
Like, I just can't.
It wouldn't shock me.
Yeah. Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah. Would not shock me at all. There you go.
Yeah, but I can possibly see him having a middleweight move up to fight him like Janabek and everything, because I don't think Janabek's that much of a risk.
Yeah, but he's not. I mean, you got to have somebody. I think he's going to at least fight names. Janibek's not really a big name. Munguia's a name. Munguia's actually a big fight in Mexico, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So.
But I can. Like, yeah, well, you got to fight names, but there's not many more names out there. And that you could say, I'll fight him in anything. Besides Benavidez, Bivol, Benavidez, and all of them. There's not really that many more names.
There's not much left.
No.
He says he wants to fight 5 more years. Who's he going to fight?
5 more years. Is he crazy? He's not fighting Benavidez.
Who's he going to fight?
Yeah, right. There you go.
Yeah, but who's going to fight for 5 more years?
Yeah, he's not fighting for 5 more years.
He says he is. I don't think he is.
Yeah.
I give it 3 tops.
Maybe 2.
I can only see him fighting 3 more years.
Like I said, I think 1 or 2 more. I think he's at the tail end right now.
People forget he turned pro 18, 19 years ago. So he's got a long
career. He was like, what, 15?
15, 16 years old, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's yeah. He's been there. He may be younger, but he's got 1 million miles on him.
Yeah, it's got a lot of miles.
That's a big deal. All right, Philly, we're going to get one in here.
Like he hasn't been in any
but yeah, he's right. I don't think he lasts for another 5 years. I don't think he lasts for another 3 years. I think he's got 1 or 2.
The last 5 years, I don't think.
And that's something they say. I'm gonna box 5 years. That's what they all say.
Theory said the same thing. He's gonna box 5 more times or whatever. I don't think.
Right.
There's no way he's fucking.
Is Dante has brought up another good point. Is Jamal is still undefeated, right?
Jamal is, yeah.
Yeah, and so that could be listen, man, if you're looking at records, you got an undefeated guy in there, never lost, it's possible. It's possible. Listen, I don't want to see it because I think it's the same exact fight that you saw.
Yeah, I don't want to see it.
No, and Jamal has got to get some wins under his belt. He's got to get some more fights under his belt.
I agree.
Because he's been inactive for a while.
Long time.
Yeah. And that's not the kind of guy you want to bring in. You know what I mean?
No.
He's not the kind of guy you just want to break your,
And Jamel was the better fighter of the two.
Yeah.
So what are we doing here?
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to be one of those things, man. What do you think? So Canelo's going to fight Munguia. Canelo's going to win. He's going to beat Munguia. And then what?
Well, then you got Benavidez going to 175. And then he's saying, I can come back down to 160. Like, nah, come on.
He's not coming back down.
Not coming back down.
No, he's not coming back down. Who is he fighting at 175 again?
Alexander Vosdik.
Vosdik.
That was the guy that was beaten Beterbiev before he got stopped.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that that's a good fight. And I think I'll be honest with you. And I tell you what, I was listening to Jim Lampley earlier in the week.
Yeah.
And he gave an interview, and it was really, really interesting because it's something I'd never really thought of. They said that Benavidez was like 200 some odd pounds when he was like 12 or 13. Correct. So he's lost a lot of weight or whatever, but he's still a big guy.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
You know what I mean? And at 175, it's possible, especially with the division the way it is, that he can move up, that he can hit past cruiserweight and go to the heavyweights. And I mean, listen, man, with good matchmaking and everything like that, I think he can be a problem up there. And
I think he'd be a good cruiserweight. I don't know if he can go all the way up to heavyweight, but we'll see.
How tall is he?
Like 6'2".
I mean,
Usyk
a shorter heavyweight.
Yeah, Usyk 6'3". Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and Usyk fought Sean Porter in the amateurs.
Yeah.
Which blows my mind. Which still blows my mind that
Sean Porter loves talking about how he got a victory over Usyk.
I would too. The heavyweight champion of the world, boy.
He loves that.
I beat him. Yeah, but I think that would be more interesting to me is to watch him go up than to watch him come down and beat Canelo because Canelo has no interest in fighting him to begin with.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, if he did, the fight would be happening.
I mean, people love to say Canelo can do whatever he wants. Well, if he can do whatever he wants, if he wanted to fight, he would have fought him.
And what happened to the whole thing where he doesn't want to fight Mexicans? Remember that? He didn't want to fight Mexicans?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and now he's fighting Jaime Munguia. So what?
Yeah, I don't know. Now people say he didn't say that. He said he would rather not fight Mexican. I don't know.
Yeah, and I get that. But I don't get that. I understand that that's probably what he said versus I don't want to fight, because they're from the same country or whatever. But why not give those guys a payday? You know what I mean? Why not give those guys a payday? That's the biggest thing you could do for them. You're the cash cow, is give them a payday.
It's called prize fighting. So when people say, "Oh, they want a payday," I mean that's what it's called. It's prize fighting. Everybody wants a payday. That's what it is.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I don't know, man. Not good.
We'll see what happens.
Very limited. All right, guys, that'll do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter. As always, you can catch Joe Habib on X at JHabib1. YouTube channel is at ringsidereporterlive.com. And I'm on X at Ringside73. And guys, we will see you next week.